Alrighty, round one, and we have a curve of mediocre creatures. Oh, the mediocre curve continues. That's great. Look at that. Have you ever seen a curve that amazing? The curve! The curve is real. Such beautiful curves on this deck. Isn't it a beautiful deck? Like, look. Lovely, 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 lovely. You. Lovely curves. Okay. Our opponent does not know about curves. They don't know the key to curving. So yeah, this combo is actually looking great. We'll be able to, since we were on attacking to start this entire game, we'll be able to just attack with the Sanitarium Skeleton forever and just discard it. Assuming it dies. It's a nice little 5-mana Dirtle combo. I think I'm fine just losing the Sanitarium Skeleton. It's not that big of a deal. And it allows us to get this going if we so desire. I'm happy just hitting rather than offering the trade of the Supplicant. Alright. Alright, not the perfect curve. We needed a 6-drop, which we don't have. So, do I run my survivalists in? We're not particularly close to Delirium, but we're not that far away either, since we can discard this land. Trading it with either of these seems fine to me. And then we'll put up our Watcher. Okay, this is actually annoying. Later on down the road, if we lose our 2-drop blockers, and next turn we can start the draining. Start the draining. Oh my, Selfless Spirit is fantastic. Of course, Watcher in the Web is nice. Counter, okay, interesting. I think we just want to play this land and this Terrarion. I guess this is only a 4-mana combo. For some reason I thought I would have to play the Skeleton as well. So yeah, next turn there's a good chance we'll be able to play the Dusk Feaster. Alright, down she goes. I think I'll just block there and see what's up. Okay, that's a good trade. Since now our Watcher is going to come back. Do I even want to do this now? I possibly should have considered playing the Sanitarium Skeleton, but we're committed. We're too committed. Okay, Tooth Collector's fantastic. We actually still only have 2 for Delirium. So I think I can get away with playing the Dusk Feaster this turn and then Tooth Collecting next turn. Alright, the old 7 mana 4/5. Because our opponent can't realistically attack into this. So next turn we can Tooth Collector, attack for 4, and continue with the combo. What? Okay. No sick combos like choking restraints yet. Oh, there it is. There's your combo. Alright. Well, collect the Spirit's Tooth. Should have sacked that in response, but it doesn't actually matter at the moment. And I'm gonna leave up Supplicant plus Sanitarium Skeleton, even though we need to be worried a little bit about our opponent attacking, especially with Subjugator Angel involved. So now we definitely don't want to use this, since we're going to take 8 this turn, and our board is actually good, since we can kill that with Boon. Alright, big swings. Captive isn't terrible. May have spoke too soon, since we actually would have had lethal this turn, booning that, assuming our opponent didn't have anything, like a Galvanic Bombardment. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, we could have been at 3 and had our opponent dead if they attacked with everything, but they didn't need to necessarily attack with everything. Hopefully they wouldn't have. Well, they may have, since we did have to remove this as well. But this attack we can make, and yeah, we're just threatening lethal next turn. What do we do when this attacks? We can even just like chump that at this point, where we have enough damage output. And I'm going to just play this. Alright, Faith. Gotta have Faith. That's really good with Faith Bearer Paladin. I suppose they named it. They aligned the namings. But again, we're just going to card advantage win at this point. So our opponent attacks in with that. They have to. Well, Watcher in the Web is weird. So our opponent's going back up to 10. So we want to kill this, definitely. So we need at least that. And if we also block this, that doesn't actually increase the amount that our opponent can kill of our good creatures. They can't kill Watcher in the Web and Supplicant with just 7 damage. They need 8. So that does allow Watcher in the Web and Sanitarium Skeleton to die, but it's definitely worth it. So we're gonna threaten to kill this and not take any damage and still be able to flip our captive next turn. Place them in the right order. Okay, this appears to be the right order. So yeah, 5. Alright, no pump is good. Pump would definitely complicate things. Or any removal spell even. Then it would be an interesting game. Okay. Alright, so our opponent decided to kill off the Supplicant over the Watcher, which seems reasonable, and so we transform this. Our opponent can absorb 4 damage, so we have lethal. Assuming this transform works. And so Galvanic Bombardment, killing off Tooth Collector, still means our opponent has to straight up... no, they can actually block the Watcher in the Web. So Galvanic Bombardment means we lose if we attack with everything. We exactly lose. But there's no way our opponent has Galvanic Bombardment because they would have used it last turn. It's good to think about these things though anyways. So yeah. There's no way we're not attacking here. You know who got all the weight at the table? Although someone else probably did as well. Which is fine. We're fine with that. We love our deck. We're so happy with our deck right now. Supplicant. I mean, Supplicant wasn't even that great. Since these games tend to be close races, but I mean it can help you win even a very close race. Question is, do we not want anything in this matchup? Gavany Unhallowed seems good since we're kind of slugging each other in the ground. Root Out would be kind of bad just because our opponent has Ironclad Slayer and we didn't really see much yet for it. So I think we're just doing nothing here. And 16 lands worked, and it's going to work good on the draw as well. See? Not the greatest hand, but pretty good, all things considered. Fork in the Road is going to enable our Delirium halfway. Alright. Is there any consideration over what to get? Not really. Let's just get 2 forests. So next turn we'll probably Revenant and try and gain back some life. Yeah. That's not looking so hot. That's good. Selfless Spirit is going to not be a big issue once we get Watcher down though. So we might not be booning it. I think we're going to prioritize life gain here though, even though our opponent can block with Desperate Sentry. Interesting. So they could have the +3 power one. I mean, there's no reason they wouldn't have either Galvanic Bombardment or the +3 power, the 1 red +3 power. So we're just not going to block because we actually don't want that to happen, even though we don't really have an answer to the +3 power. Could have also been the world's greatest bluff. Well, maybe not the one. It was a good bluff to make because it's so good for me to block. I mean, I gain a life. But instead I lost a life, so there we go. Alright, hopefully we'll bait out the trick before our Watcher comes online, because we don't really want our Watcher getting first striked off. Alright. No attacks this time. We are taking a lot of damage. Crawling in my skin. So we can go next turn Boon Crawling, then hopefully Dusk Feaster and Watcher this turn. And we do have our ping factory going. So if there isn't a trick, if it was Galvanic Bombardment, Watcher actually still blocks Selfless Spirit nicely. I mean, we're gonna have to block it, I think. So we could just double block. Like it's unlikely we're gonna lose both. When it dies, put our Eldrazi Horror onto the battlefield. We don't even really want that to die very much. So we take 3, or we could block, and then so it feels like a 2 power pump in red, which 2 damage is Galvanic Bombardment. Not sure if there's a 2 power pump in just red. I think I'm just going to take it this turn. We still have enough life that we don't need to risk our Watcher yet. Okay. Ooh. Well, we're dangerously close to enabling Delirium now. Unfortunately, Boon doesn't deal with this very well. And if we wait to kill off the Selfless Spirit, it's going to be able to protect the Faith Bearer. We could take out the Faith Bearer with the Borrowed Malevolence and the Boon, though. That does give us Delirium as well. I think that might be the play, just because the Faith Bearer plus True Faith Censor is actually a pretty big issue. And Selfless Spirit can't save it, so yeah, I think that's the play. Kind of annoying that we have such a nice target for Borrowed Malevolence, and we'll go ahead and escalate. Escalator. See you later. Alright. So we gained an extra life. We have Delirium, so we're going to be able to cast this. Okay. Attacking with that, I have to bite. Ride Down. Wow. Ride Down is great there. Alright. Save me, lifelink. Yeah, Ride Down is a nice little answer. So at this point, we're done playing around things. We have to block. We're in full defense mode. Rush of Adrenaline. Oh, there is a pump. Don't know why he used Repel. That wasn't necessary, because he would have gotten a 3/2 anyways. Which is just better than that. And unfortunately we've drawn 2 lands. So this Selfless Spirit is probably going to kill us. Alright, we'll make a blocker. Even though we don't want to be losing life. But we're kind of racing right now. and Crawling Sensation should hopefully give us some blockers if we get lucky here. Alright. Now Farbog Revenant can be blocked. I still think we have to attack though. This isn't looking good. Grab an Inspector. That's a good draw at this point. Yeah, we don't really have enough blockers. We don't have enough blockers or an answer to flying. So could go block. That doesn't help very much. Could go chump. What gets us out of this? Not really anything. Haunted Dead probably isn't enough. Watcher in the Web would be good, but we already used that little resource. Do we even want to use this? I think we're dead no matter what. Let's just concede. Rather than show 2 more cards. Well, we would have got a 1/1 and a Sinister Concoction. Tooth Collector. That could have bought us... If we had flipped the land, drawn Tooth Collector, killed that, we still would have been in a bad spot. But we could have potentially stabilized, so there's a lesson. We probably shouldn't have conceded since we had conceivable outs to victory, and showing your opponent your deck usually isn't that much of a concern. Wolfkin Bond would actually be good in this matchup, I think. Our opponent hasn't really shown us removal. So on the play, Wolfkin Bond seems nice. Could get rid of Crawling Sensation, maybe? Or Unhallowed. Let's try that. Let's see if we can't bond with our wolves. Alright, nice little curve. And we have Watcher, which isn't terrible. Mulligans to 6. Farbog Revenant did some work, just not enough. It's all your fault, Farbog Revenant. Ooh, Murder. I love Murder. The card. Alright, Revenant. The curve. It's happening again. The perfect curve. It's not actually going to happen this game, though. You gain 5 life. Okay. We haven't seen Lone Rider, but that's what it suggests. It's also possible our opponent is just playing this. That's also an option. They are at 20 life, but we're at 21, so clearly we know what's up. Yeah, let's just boon. I actually don't even want to trade those. I'd rather just get the damage through. Since we have 2 removal spells and a Tooth Collector for 1 toughness. We could have played the Tooth Collector first, which we might do now. Alright. Now it's only offering to trade that, which is much more acceptable. And we still have Murder on backup. Dusk Feaster is not looking so castable at the moment, but Field Creeper and discarding a land would do it. Okay, the old I'm losing horribly and passing the turn with 6 mana up. I mean, I think we only have 1 play, and that's attack with everything. We have Murder, so even Avacyn wouldn't completely blow us out. Right down. Come on down. So we're doing 5 and not killing that if I don't Murder. So Murder is like killing this and playing Tooth Collector, which seems like a good idea. Good deal at this point. And we'll just keep the swamp. And get there. We could have murdered first, I guess. But then Avacyn would have actually been fairly bad. It would have just ate Tooth Collector or Supplicant. So, I don't know. Playing around the Mythic, it seemed like we were in a good spot if we just let our opponent block and do their thing. Like, this is a pretty good board. Yeah. 5 life. 5 life. Kept them alive a turn.